Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. We are joined by Emmerstine Hull. Excited to have her here as a divorce coach and her own company. She has Divorce Coach for You. And by the way, that's the website as well, divorcecoachforyou.com. Really caters to seasoned women, let's say age 50 or older, and she helps them emotionally heal with what's going on, especially through divorce or even a breakup, offering lots of business, job, and of course, educational budget coaching to assist clients in financial independence as well. So there's many services that she offers. Emmerstine, welcome to the show today. How are you?
I'm great. And you?
I'm doing fantastic. Please, pleasure to have you here. Introduce yourself to everyone.
Well, my name is Emmerstine Hull. The name of my business is Divorce Coach for You, and I cater to seasoned women age 50 and above. And I term these women seasoned women. And I help them to emotionally heal by going through a breakup or a divorce. And also, I help them to be financially independent after they break up a divorce by offering job and career, educational, business, and budget coaching.
Amazing. Well, I think it's important for us to get to know you as a person before we know you as a coach. So tell us a little bit about you. Where did you grow up in your life? I know I mentioned, I read in your notes, that your mother kind of was an inspiration to you. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born in Savannah, Georgia, but currently reside in Augusta, Georgia, the home of the Masters.
Hmm.
And most of my life, I've been in the accounting and business arena to include accounting and business instruction and also academic advising. And prior to now, I was married 32 years.
Wow.
And we divorced a few years ago. And when I was doing my research on divorce, I found out that since 1990, the divorce rate for persons 50 and older has doubled, and the
Really?
divorce rate for ages 65 and older has tripled.
Wow.
And I had no clue. And I found that a lot of these women end up financially worse off than a man after a divorce the same age. And oftentimes they end up in poverty. And I
Hmm.
did not know that. So, and even if they're okay financially, a lot of them are used to their spouses handling the household finances and budget. And my spouse did that too. But my saving grace was I was an accountant by profession, so I knew how to do budget and financing. So even though the women are not struggling financially, a lot of them need assistance with budgeting because a lot of them have not done it before. So I help them, whatever it takes for them to be financially secure and to be and to emotionally heal. And that's what I strive to do. And that's what prompted me to do that because I didn't know what was affecting women my age until I actually went through it myself. And prior to that, I was in my own little world, didn't have a clue. And I wanted to make sure women my age were okay and let them know they would be okay and to empower them. As Betty Smith says, it gets greater later.
Kind of sounds like a fine wine. Ages gets better
That's
with
right.
time.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, really. Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing this. And just remind us how we can reach you. What's the website? Is there a contact number for us?
Okay, the website is divorcecoachforyou.com, and you can contact me at the same site. It's Emmerstine, Emmerstine at Divorce Coach for You. You can also contact me via telephone, and that number is 706-513-6442. Again, that's 706-513-6442.
Got it. Thank you so much. All right, so let's continue. Let's talk more, about your services and how you help people. Main objective you say is to help in seasoned women, as we talked about, right?
Yes.
And let's talk about some of the healing process that goes on with this. And you want to empower these women, you say, to live their best life. So let's talk about the process of how you work with a divorce coach.
Um, the main thing, divorce can be like death. with the exception is your spouse is still alive, even though you may want him dead, he's still alive. So you go through a grieving process. Some women even go through depression, and it's important if you feel like you're in depression too long, seek counseling. Okay, and also try to join a support group. A lot of churches now they've started support groups for divorced persons, and to don't do some of the things people do to try to get through the pain, such as over drinking. And the biggest mistake that people make is they date too soon. You have to give yourself time to heal from a divorce. And it's said to take an average of 2 years to actually heal. And mostly do not indulge in alcohol or drugs because you end up with a bigger problem if that happens. So just give yourself time to heal and stay in contact with friends and family and have a support group. It's very important to have a support group.
Got it. But not everybody has a good support group, and sometimes it's better to go to someone who's non-judgmental, like a professional like yourself, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. And to work with a divorce coach, normally, you're meeting how many times a week? How many months of commitment do you need?
It varies from person to person, and it also depends on what phase in the healing process they're in. Um, I would suggest initially maybe once a week, um, and kind of taper down as time goes on to maybe about once a month.
Mm-hmm.
And also during that time, it's important to establish goals and objectives. And a lot of times people do this, but they do not write down the goals and objectives. So you need to write them down and be able to see them. And a lot of times you're in emotional turmoil, and by seeing your goals written down, it helps you to focus and be more logical about the process.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Let me ask, furthermore, about your company and the work that you're doing. You mentioned, you had to overcome your own fear, right, of starting your own business. A
Yes.
lot of people have fear and anxiety about talking to someone. I mean, and since you've been there, could you talk about the emotions that do happen when there's a breakup, when there's divorce? What type of traumas really, affect you? And then sometimes you realize, well, I don't have a job. I don't have. So you're also coaching people to go on to the next level as well.
Yes. Um, a lot of times people are initially you're in denial.
Hmm.
How could this happen? I thought I would be with this person for the rest of my life. And then you may progress to anger. And how could he have done this to me?
Hmm.
I devoted my life to him. And then you start the bargaining. And that's the step where you may start indulging in drugs and alcohol and maybe relationships too early and spending.
Hmm.
And from my experience, my weakness was spending.
Hmm.
So be careful not to do those things. And then eventually you forgive that person. I
Yeah.
know some people say that'll never happen, but
Hmm.
eventually you forgive that person. You come to acceptance and know that okay, I can't change this. I have to accept it, and I have to go forward and go on with my life.
Yeah. Ah, wow. Well, let's talk about the educational coaching, business coaching, job and career coaching that you do specifically. Tell us some details of how you've guided people, maybe share some past experiences with clients.
And I also have my certificate in divorce coaching
Oh, where'd you get that from?
at Light University.
Okay, great.
Yes, and I have my job and career coaching certificate from the Career. It's a long name. I can't remember from the top, off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
I have my certificate in job and career. And for the business and accounting part, I've been in that arena for about 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
And educational, I've been an academic advisor for a few years. So if they decide, if, and especially if they need to make additional income, women my age typically may not have worked for a while, but maybe work part time um, most of their marriage. So a lot of them need to maybe get retrained,
Mm-hmm.
pick a different career,
Mm-hmm.
and I help them to decide maybe if they want to pursue a certain career, then I have them to research that career and to see um, how well their career is doing and if they should go that route.
Mm-hmm.
And also the school to attend if they want to go to college or whatever, or go to technical school
Yeah.
even. And a lot of schools have continuing education departments where they can take a computer course if you hadn't used computers in a while, or various other type skills. And the budget and also the business area, if a lot of times they need additional income and they may need to do a part-time job or a side business, or maybe if they're not strapped financially, they may
Mm-hmm.
want to start a full-time business. So I help them do that because I've been a business consultant for a number of years, and that's what I did for clients. And a lot of seasoned women, they need assistance with budgeting because a lot of them do not know how to budget,
Mm-hmm.
and they may need to live off of less money. So I
Mm-hmm.
help them to look to where they can cut expenses,
Yeah.
and I always advise them to make a budget. If you know you're going through a divorce, make a budget before you actually go through the process, and then you can always refine your budget as you go on.
Yeah.
And so that's what I mainly do, and I try to let them know that they would be okay. I was okay, and I want them to know that they would be okay too, because prior to my divorce, I had never lived on my own ever. And the first time I lived on my own was I was 57. So that was quite an experience. So whatever they need to make sure they heal and be financially secure and know how to budget, that's what I try to do.
Yeah. All right. Wow. And by the way, if you are just tuning in, let's remind everyone, Emmerstine, how we can reach you. And if you are interested, divorcecoachforyou.com is the website. And what other form of contact do you want to share? Do you have social media or any phone number you want to share?
Uh, Social media, you can find me on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and TikTok.
Hmm.
And my handle is the same, Divorce Coach for You.
Perfect. Thank you so
And
much. Go ahead. Go ahead.
and my phone number again is 706
Hmm.
513 6442. Again, that's 706 513 6442. And you can also contact me at Emmerstine, Emmerstine, at divorcecoachforyou.com.
Perfect. And looking over your notes, I know you mentioned about your divorce, and
Yes,
did you want to elaborate more about that? You said you were 57, and after 32 years of marriage, you went through your divorce and found out there were so many other women like you who've gone through this and were getting through the same thing. And some people ended up in poverty, right? Could
yes.
you want to talk a little bit more about that for today?
My divorce, um, it came as a shock.
Mm-hmm.
um, it came like a truck. It just blindsided me. And I was more of being in accounting and business arena. I was a very logical person. I was devastated, but I knew I had to go forward. And I and like I tell other people, I know you're gonna go. I went through denial, anger. Um, I didn't try to reconcile. I said to myself, if he lets me walk out that door, I'm never coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm filing for divorce on my way out the door. So, and that's what I did. But I was upset and angry. But I would like to thank him for inspiring me to start this business by divorcing me. Because if he had not done that, I would have never started Divorce Coach for You, which I feel is my purpose. And and for most seasoned women, our children are grown. So my kids are grown. I have a granddaughter. So I did not have to focus on having to take care of kids. So I mainly had to take care of myself and go through the healing process myself. And because I'm human too, so I did I, I did what I told people not to do.
Mm.
I shopped
Uh-huh.
extensively. And to get over the pain, I did a lot of traveling. I went to New York and saw the Wendy Williams show.
Ah, love her.
Went to Vegas.
How is she doing, by the way? Oh, I know she's dealing with some medical issues. Ah,
Yeah. I mean, I think they say she's doing better. She's still having issues and
is she still doing the show?
no, Sherry
She
Shepherd
gave it up. Okay,
has
yeah,
a
I didn't
time
even know.
slot. Yeah.
Aw.
And then I flew to LA. I'd never been there before and saw a Steve
Mm-hmm.
Harvey workshop. And in Vegas, I was able to do a little gambling. So I did those things to take my mind away from my divorce. And I had friends and associates that were very supportive also.
Mm-hmm. Well, also, we still have 10, oh gosh, we only have 6 minutes left on the show, but there's so much more to how you can help our listeners. Do you want to share some client experiences? Do you want to focus on one area? It's your first show with us. I want you to make sure we're covering everything that's important to you.
And also I do offer the initial consultation, 30 minutes is free. It's no
Mm-hmm.
cost, the initial
Okay.
consultation. And I had one lady that contacted me. Her spouse was on disability, etc. So
Mm-hmm.
she was not able to get any type of support. And she was thinking about going to school. I can't remember exactly what area she wanted to go in. So I told her, I said, do research and find out if the area is okay where you currently live. And she said, well, I'm moving. I said, well, see if you can if you be able to get a job in that area when you move there.
Mm-hmm.
And she did. And I told her, I said, make sure and I tell all women, by me being an accountant, I know this stuff because I've done it all my life. Make sure you know the income that's coming in your house and the expenses that are being paid.
Mm-hmm.
Know all your assets to include bank accounts,
Mm-hmm.
retirement accounts,
Mm-hmm.
stocks, bonds, because oftentimes we do not know.
Yeah.
So before I left my home with my former spouse, I made copies of everything, absolutely everything, because oftentimes they will not tell you. Your spouse will not tell you. If you do not know, he or she will not tell you. So always know. And my spouse handled the finances. So even though I was an accountant, he that's what he wanted to do. And so I knew exactly what to get copies of. Um, also, life insurance policies, etc., and have all your expenses for yourself, expenses for your spouse, and the household expenses. Make sure you know that. And also, I was lucky. I got a very good attorney. I mean, she was absolutely wonderful. And I was able to initially get spousal support. And that's because my spouse initially left income off of his financial report, and I knew, and the income that was left off was substantial, and so it always pays to know what money is coming in the house. If you know you're going to be going through a divorce, get the paperwork together and make copies of it so that you will have it. I can't stress that enough. So I told one lady to make sure she does that. She said, "Well, I don't know. He pays all the bills." I said, "You know more than you think you know. It's like a puzzle. Get the pieces that you do know, and then gradually find out the pieces that you don't know." And as I was telling her, she realized, "Yeah, I do know. I do know." So like I said, I can't stress that enough to know all your assets, your liabilities, your bills, expenses, etc.
So what advice would you give to someone who's out there, whether you're a seasoned, woman or a young woman who's about to get married, things we should prepare for in case of divorce, not to look for the grim in it, but, the statistics say, chances are it's not going to last. I mean, there's some high statistics out there. What advice would you give to someone now who's getting married?
Now there seems to be a tendency toward prenups, getting a prenup. And when I was younger, I probably didn't think about that, but now um, I would suggest that, especially if you've gone through a divorce and this is your second marriage, and you've gotten substantial assets from, or even some assets from that former spouse. You don't want to marry someone else who maybe not have as much, and and if that marriage doesn't work out, because second marriages in a divorce more than the first marriage, so you don't want that person to be able to share in your assets, etc. You may want to leave your assets to your kids. So a prenup is a good idea, and be
All right.
realistic. Know know
Yes.
know that, and I was lucky in this respect. Know that person's credit. you know, they need to have credit is so important, and a lot of young people do not realize that. Especially in college, it's so easy to get credit cards, because I was able to get a credit card, and so many kids, young adults will run up credit cards. They don't know, they don't realize. But I never ran mine up. And if your credit is not good, it's hard to get financing for a home. Or the home, your mortgage payments may be higher. It's hard to get a car. So check that person's credit history.
Well, thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you here, getting to know you. And again, to remind people to reach out to you, would you mind sharing the website once again and contact information?
Okay. My website is divorcecoachforyou.com. You can contact me at that website, Emmerstine, Emmerstine, at Divorce Coach for You. You can also call me at 706-513-6442.
Great. Thank you so much. Pleasure having you here, getting to know you, Emmerstine, and looking forward to the next time we connect. Thanks again for your advice. And for those out there, please reach out for that complimentary consultation. It can't hurt. Time to live your best life, no matter what age, no matter what you've been through. There is hope. There is light at the end of that tunnel. And you are living proof. And so many people are. Thank you again. Have a fantastic day. To all
Thank
of our
you.
listeners, thank you. Stay tuned. More of the show is on the way.
Yeah, I said it. This is the season, women, and sugar, spice, and everything nice. Sugar, spice, and everything nice. sugar,
Yes, ma'am.
spice,
This
and everything
is
nice.
the answer.
Sugar, spice,
Seasoned
and
women
everything
answer.
nice. You're not getting older, you're not to be ignored. You're confident and wise, looking better than before. Got the fine wine face, you're the ones that you adore. And we celebrating us, celebrating life and more. You talk about the past, you could leave it at the front. It's time to be selfish, doing whatever you want. You're so pretty and you're young, if you got it, baby, flaunt. Y'all get in the back, seasoned women to the front. You're pretty and you're young, if you got it, baby, flaunt. Y'all get in the back, seasoned women to the front. Y'all get in the back, seasoned women to the front. Cause it's sugar, in the back, and everything nice. Sugar, spice, and everything nice. Cause it's sugar, spice, and everything nice. Y'all get in the front. Y'all get in the front.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.